Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here. Lesson of Covenant. Break our 7 seals. The deception. The great deception. You know, they say the darkest part of the night is just before dawn. The darkest part of the night is just before dawn. So another way of looking at that is, see, light, dark is it gets most intense when it sees, because the light is coming up. Another light causes the dark to become more intense. And right now you see the darkness is intense on the planet. I mean, it's never been as dark as it is right now. It is totally dark. I mean, it's getting worse every day. Lies, deception, confusion, wars and rumors of wars, and nothing makes any sense. Everybody's got questions. Well, why is America helping Israel? It doesn't make any sense. They don't help, because they're asking questions. So, I mean, they're committing genocide, and the news media just ignores it. And then they had a South African president come in here, try to humiliate him, like he's the racist, but they won't talk anything about what's going on over there. It's the bomb. And the thing is, see, that's what it is. The light is so clear right now. But the darkness is doing everything they can to suppress it. Because it's telling you, hey, what's going on? It's boundless desolation. You look up the bomb, there is a boundless desolation. Right? Oh, Aaron, that's Farrakhan. And he would do evil things. Oh, that's exactly what it says. Right? And see, on and on and on. And, America, if false Israel is evil, the world is always turned against them, right? I'm going to do a one on the plagues and soon. I did it before a recap. Then what does America got to say about it? That's how they got started. 10 times worse. And then America's supposed to be for civil rights, all of a sudden, not saying anything. Okay. So, I mean, that's confusing. I mean, I thought you're supposed to be for fighting country, human rights, and you see what's going on over there. It's obvious. Ukraine situation. And as people are it's getting more confusing. It's war on the horizon, and you listen to the news and you listen to social media, and they're saying one thing, social media, and it's confusion is off the page, and no one knows what's going on. Everybody's out there everybody's got a different opinion. Well, and he asked the question, why are they helping false Israel? And are they, I'm just saying, the confusion's off the page. And so when it gets dark, some people just close their eyes. They can't find answers, close their eyes, ignore it. Like they said, an ostrich stick his head in the sand. when you see somebody going to attack them, well, they don't want his head, they want his behind. That's when he got sticking up. If that's true, I don't know if it's true or not. He sticks his head in this. It says that's what happens, but deception. So you should look, you should look for right? You should understand that the times. Why so much confusion? Because there's light on the scene, and that confusion is fighting to stay relevant, but the light is exposing it. So you got to do everything you can, because you walking around talking about you're a flamingo or something, right? And you're a skunk. But you can get away with that in the dark. Somebody might smell something and say, I'm a flamingo, I ain't no skunk. Well, you can't tell because you only got your sense of smell, but in the dark you can't see anything. And they see the lights come on. Hey, man, we got to shut that light out because everybody going to see I'm a skunk. And do everything you can to suppress that light. See? Because it says Satan would masquerade as an angel of light. He only do that in darkness. See, See, only can masquerade in darkness when people can't see who you are. And so the light comes on, he exposed, and then everybody sees him. Because remember, that Satan's trick was to keep himself exposed and pretend he's somebody he's not. Because even the devils, they want to pretend that they're good people. And then they see, but they're having a hard time with that with false Israel. Because why are you supporting that? You're supposed to be good people. Why are you supporting somebody who's killing children and women? See, the confusion is off the page, and it's going to get a lot worse. I mean, this is nothing compared to what's. It's going to get a lot worse. Very quickly, it's going to get very worse, very much worse. I mean, every day it's getting worse and worse, right? They say you got a president that says one thing one day, and next day it's something else all totally different. He's running all over the world. Elijah Muhammad was said, he said they run all over the world, look, right? But he's not, he said look for friends, but Trump, he might have that a little wrong, because Trump, he's going to antagonize New Orleans. If he know like I knew, he'd be going to ask for friends. Because what's about to happen, he's going to be, says your love is going to abandon you. He's going to be begging people to help him. He's writing an obituary. Let me move on to it, brothers and sisters, right? But the confusion, and it's going to get a lot worse. It's going to be very, is that people sit in darkness seeing a great light. I mean, the darkness precedes the light. And so they're sitting in darkness. And then a great light. The great light is on the scene. And that's why the darkness, the resistance so much is great, and it's getting greater. Remember, the resistance represents the dark, so it means the darkness will become much, darkness will become, the resistance, darkness represents the resistance to the light. So that means the resistance is going to increase. I mean, the darkness is going to increase. The confusion out there is, I mean, they actually just, when the confusion gets really bad, just say anything. You openly lie. You openly lie. I mean, it's, you don't even try to connect the dots, see if it fits into, because like if you're up against the wall, and you pin against the wall, and you think you're about to die, you say anything. You don't, I'm alive, yeah, I'm out, because you ain't going to worry about if it makes sense or not. All you do is try to save your life. And so, like now, the lies are worse than they ever been, and they don't even care if it doesn't even make any sense anymore. They don't care. Just say it. Just say it. Because it's self-preservation, first law of nature. They're going to lie, whatever. And the more, the greater, the lie becomes greater as the more the pressure increases. And death is closing in. Right? Anything to save us, save our lives. Anything. I say anything. So you're not going to worry about what's the truth or not. You're going to say anything. And that's starting to get worse and worse and worse. It's like a guy on crack. I'll do this, whatever. Just give me. It's worse and worse and worse. Technical issues. My screen just went out and came back. Oh, hope you understand if I'm explaining it correctly. Right? Because you out there, even they complaining. People say, man, even it was social media complaining about the press because they say they people over there starving. They're creating a famine over there. A man-made famine, and news media don't even talk about it. Children are dying, thousands by the thousands. Right? I told you the media was under control of the government. Right? So you're not getting news. In fact, you stopped getting news a long time ago, about 50, 60 years ago. If you was getting any news even then. Getting news. Because it's all propaganda. And right now, most of these talk shows, they don't even call them, in the legal papers, they don't even talk news anymore. They call them talk shows because they got all kinds of stuff. sensationalism, right? People sitting around talking and all this BS, right? In other words, used to be you come to they got to just tell you the news, but now you got see all this, you know. Anyway, let's move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, the Great Deception. Let me speak about this, brothers and sisters. See, something like I said, the truth be made so clear, and the fool would understand. The fool would not. The truth made so clear, according to the way I'm quoting it correctly. The truth made so clear or simple that the fool would not err. But then he said, a fool does err, and he said, you know. So I just leave it there. But see, there's two states. Fire is pure. Fire is truth. It burns up all impurities. See? In fact, the angel says, right, it calls the seven spirits, talking about the original, they actually call them flames of fire also. But that's another story I'm going to talk about another time. Right? But also, you know, Africa, Esau is also called fire. Why are those two called fire? I mean, they could be twin brothers. That's another story together. That's what I'm going to talk about some other time. I don't know anybody noticed that. But fire is pure. Fire burns up. Anything that's not fire, fire will burn. But you can't burn fire. All you can do is inspire fire. Fire touch fire just turns to a blaze, gets stronger, and more inspired. That's if you fire. And it says Suleiman will make his ministers as ministers of fire, flames of fire. Right? So we see those two nations, the original nation and the African nation, flames, but everybody else is other than that. Well, some of water will put out fire. It will do that. It has to be enough, because otherwise the fire would turn the water into fire. Fire would turn the water into fire. You put enough fire there, it start boiling, turn to steam. Steam will burn you. So either fire your wood, or your fuel of fire. That's why I call it my fire and the fuel of fire. You throw it in the lake, you be fuel for the fire. Fuel for what fire? What fire are they talking about? Be fuel for the fire. They describe the fire. That's talking about the angel. If you're not fire, you're going to be fuel for fire. Burn up. And that's what Suleiman's here. That's going to tribulation. Right? They get you to burst into flames, fire. Okay? I'll try you in the furnace of affliction. That's fire, that's heat. Put enough heat on you. That's why tribulation is so hot. Put so much heat on you, burst into fire. Either you're going to burn up or you're going to burst into flames. It's going to be one or the other. I try to make this simple enough for people to understand. If you can't upload it, you get burned up. Either fire or you fuel for fire. Okay? Fire or fuel for fire. Fire will burn you up and become more and be happy because it did it. See, fire loves burning up stuff. It can strengthen it. See, your way of thinking is totally backwards, not even backwards. Because first of all, most of you don't think at all, because you don't know what thinking is. Thinking is not checking checkbook, going to work. Do the birds think? The bees think? They make honey. They build, ants build cities and stuff. They think. They do more building than you can do. Birds build nests. Beavers build dams. They think. Because you can do that, don't know. Things when you start calculating. But you have to have information to calculate with. And that's what angel gives you, plus it'll teach you, start on your road of thinking. Because it's just information here, but you got to think to get it. So you could take it, absorb it, memorize it, right? So you're like a piece of wood that got writing on it. You got a lot of knowledge, you still wood. You won't get burned up. I tell people that. You got to get that, right? And you get information in, process it, turn it into fire. Because actually, angel is fire. And Son of Man, he is fire. That's why he was able to unlock the angel. Otherwise, he'd been burned up in the process of unlocking it. I'm breaking the seals. You can handle fire. You better be fire to handle fire, or you better have some heavy protection. And so when you come in contact with Son of Man, you're either gonna get burnt or you're gonna be inspired. If you resist being inspired, you're gonna be burnt. Period. At 30, even, oh man, you're gonna be angry, hateful, angry with everything, because you're burning. You're so, oh man, it hurts. You're gonna try to get away, because fire inspire. If wood had legs, it would inspire it to run away. But 30-degree burns, it's not a joke, brothers and sisters. Fire. What it said about? It said the fire next time. It said he would baptize you with fire, not water. How many times it got explained it? Fire. So if he baptized you with fire, that means he has to convert you into fire. Otherwise, if he baptized you with fire, he's burning your ass up. If you can't turn the fire, you'll be burned up. It's simple as that. I don't care who you are. If you can't transition to fire, you'll be burned up. He'll baptize you with fire. He said Moses baptized you with water, so he will baptize you with fire. So you have to be fired to do that. And if you can't transition to fire, you're going to take him, stay wood, and write on the wood, memorize an angel. That's like writing on the wood. Well, you and the writing is going to be burned up. You got to turn the fire. Smooth on, brothers and sisters. Because fire burns, and there's nothing that fire will not burn. But you can't burn fire. Fire loves heat. When fire, you add fire to fire, it just gets stronger. It grows, spreads. Okay, God made God an Antichrist. See, that's one of the major confusions. And it's very simple. But see, the thing is that even the ones that have some idea, they can't even say it. That's part of the confusion. Because if they know the truth, they can't say it. They can't say, if they know they can't say it. That's how dark it is. Because they'd be exposing themselves. That's why it says, chapter 20 said to go out and deceive the whole world. Chapter 20 of Revelations. Well, look, the chapter itself is the deception. The chapter itself is deception. Not that it's the chapter is out to deceive you. The chapter itself is deception. How they're using it. Because they tell you chapter 20 is in the future. Even Elijah Muhammad had that one wrong, because he said, chapter 20, they keep talking about the message. See, they keep talking about, well, anyway, he said, chapter 20 was the future. He said, that's a millennia. He said, it's going to take us 1,000 years to build a kingdom. That's what Elijah was saying. He was wrong about that. He was guessing. He did not break the seals. If you didn't break the seals, I don't care who you are, you don't know what it says. You're just guessing. I'm not taking anything away from him. But unless you can show me he broke the seals, then you have to admit. See, that's the problem. They can't admit stuff like that, because admit it. That means they got to sit down and he is impeccable. He never made a mistake, even though the lessons say he did. Say he didn't get it all right. See, that's part of the confusion. They can't say the truth, because that means they had to stick their foot up their own ass. They have to. That's the confusion. They can't say simple truths. Could read chapter 20. If you know anything about history, you know chapter 20 is European history, 1,000-year dark ages. Now you're trying to change it now. But when I was growing up, that was it, dark age. 1,000-year dark ages. But now I tried, well, it was only 950, whatever. No, 1,000. That's what it always said. 1,000-year dark ages. Europe is dark ages. And who put them in dark ages? The rise of Islam. Rise of Abraham's Islamic empire. See, they try to make it take Prophet Muhammad no, he did not start Islam. They can't tell you that. That's a simple truth. All you gotta do is go check it out. Just read. Mecca was already there. He didn't build Mecca. They had the Kaaba was already there. Prophet Muhammad didn't build it. It was already there. See? And they believe in Allah. Only they 100 attributes of Allah. Only thing is they had 100 statues inside the Kaaba. And they turned to idolatry. And they said to teach one was Allah. And they had a pilgrimage. Had all of that. It just has fell into a confusion. And all Prophet Muhammad did was resurrect. That's what it says in 20. It said there was a resurrection that took place. See, they can't tell you. Very simple. They can't tell you that Abraham built Mecca. He built the Kaaba. Abraham built it. That was already before. They can't tell you that because they tell you, well, damn, Abraham he walked with God. Then then Islam must be right. They can't tell you that. It's very simple. All you gotta do is check it out. I take my word for it. He built that, but they can't tell you that. You see, the truth is so simple. So if you're confused because you want to, because you ain't check it out, you don't care, and you put your life in some fool's hand they're telling you they're angel of light. It's very simple. That's a very simple truth. All you gotta do is check it. Who built Mecca? Who built the Kaaba? Who built all those things? Who said that? Where did Abraham come? That's the region of where he came from. That's the region of where he came from. He was a monotheist. He didn't believe in many gods, but his parents did, and he took and straightened all that stuff out. That's part of where he came from. He built all of that. He walked with God. They can't tell you that. Even the Bible tells you that. They can't tell you that. And that's why they can't tell you chapter 20, because they tell you, that means we're dark age. Who kept us locked down in dark age, like it said in chapter 20? Oh, the Muslims did. Oh, that's exactly what happened. The resurrected empire kept them down. They said, well, they used the word Christ. Christ is just another word for Messiah when they use in that context. They said they lived with their Messiah for 1,000 years. They said, well, they're going to live with Jesus for 1,000 years. They said, well, that's the future. Because they can't tell you. If you say that was in the past, and you go back and say, what time in the past fits this scenario? And you got it. That shuts everything down right here. That shuts all down because, Europeans, they're the devil and Satan. As like Muhammad said, they can't say it. They're the ones that were locked in the pit for 1,000 years. And who kept them in the pit? And that's what happened. The Crusaders against Islam, they kept them locked up for 1,000 years. And after 1,000 years happened, what happened? So-called Renaissance, they broke out. They said, Gog and Magog. And they go out to see the whole world. What's the greatest exception? Chapter 20. Chapter 20. They got to see the whole world. There'd be two empires. Remember? They didn't even know about the whole world then. So all of a sudden, now they come out at that point. That's when they find out the whole world. There's whole world out there. They see the whole world, and it's two. And how many empires has ruled the whole world that you know of in the last 1,000 years? Say 1,000 years. Say 2,000, 5,000 years. Say what empire, as far as you go back, ruled the entire world? What empires? Who? Nothing. America and Britain. Two world empires came out of Europe. And God came out. That's why I say Magog. It means mother of Gog. So Gog will come out of Magog. Magog is Britain. Who came out of it? Gog. The mother of Gog. That's what I call it. Gog and Magog. 2 European empires, and they'll be deceiving the whole world. They can't. That's simple. See, they're gonna go. Oh, they go all stretched. Oh, God is right. When that's a simple explanation there, but they can't say that because then how could they deceive you? They're gonna come and tell you, "Hey, I'm a lie. I'm a deceive." You ain't gonna. They're gonna admit it. Then why are you gonna listen to them? A car salesman comes and says, got a big tattoo on his head. I'm a liar. You ain't gonna buy no car from that fool. You gotta come out and make you say, "Hey man, hey bro." You see what I'm saying? Hey man, I'm Medal of Honor winners, anything, because they gotta deceive you. They gotta make you think other than what they already are. So that's why they gotta hide that. If anybody go back and look, they know that's a fact. But then if a dog go back and look, oh man, now he knows he gotta try harder to hide it because he's part of the resistance. But if you are the truth, if you fire, you go back and look, that's gonna wake you up. It said, where all that says that Christianity is bullshit, until Islam is the one that kept them down, at least that form of Islam. But it said they will fail after 1,000 years. And then all of a sudden, what? What happened? God controlled it. The countries that took them down controlled Sunnism. Now they said they rise out and they took control of the world. So they able to suppress Sunnism. And then at the end of it, it says, at the end, after a season, they would surround the holy city, which is about Jerusalem, and would fire out of heaven, the sight of men, and that what they're doing, bringing those drones, those hellfire missiles down there on people, those drones and stuff all the time, and then that's when they come in. That's what's happening right there, right now. It's very simple, but they can't tell you that. Even if they see right now, you make it very simple. Oh man, because they listen to this right now, they got to feel, oh man, now, you went out there and you put all this makeup and everything on right, see, and you got a hole in your pants, you don't know it. Somebody come, hey, you got a hole, oh man, now I got to go cover that up, see, because that's what light is. Light exposing holes. Light exposing holes and flaws in that bullshit. And that's a big one right there. Uh-oh. Got to cover that one up. See, that takes energy to do these things. So they spend a lot of energy trying to keep the light out. That's part of the reason why America going bankrupt. To keep all these things they're doing to shut this light down, like putting false Israel, all these things they're doing to shut this light out. It takes a lot of energy to do that. It takes energy to do everything. I try to make you understand these things. Let's move on. So God, Magog, and Antichrist. And that's Antichrist. That means if there's an Antichrist, there must be a Christ. There must be anti to it. That gets to another thing about the birth of this conception, but I'm not going to do that here. So here's God, Magog, and the Antichrist. 2 world empires. Only been 2. It's like it says, 2 world empires. It says, if you read Daniel, it said to be that ram had 2, and it would come out of the east, pushing northward, westward, and whatever. I'm probably not saying exactly right. But be 2, and it had 2 horns. And it said the greater horn can't last. So Britain was a world empire. No, the sun does not set on the British Empire. And America came up after it, and it's even greater, more powerful. That's what Daniel says about it. And its root, I mean, its source, I mean, its origins out of the east, Europe. So here's chapter 20. I'm going to go through it quickly. I saw the angel stepping down out of heaven, having the key of the abyss and great chain upon the hand of him. He laid hold of the dragon, the serpent, the archaic, the devil, and Satan. That means Satan, that means the devil, and Satan was up in there. Even the dragon. But so close, devil and Satan. That means if you understand that, that means the Europeans, the Christians, that's the devils. Satan is false Israel. I mean, right there. Now you got to figure who the dragon is, a serpent. But these 2 right here, clear. They were being there. They're the ones that came out. and bound for 1,000 years. They was in dark up there, and threw them in the abyss and shut them up and sealed up over him. He would not he would not come out, confuse the nation, attract nations for 1,000 years. And then after 1,000 years, he's bound to be loose for a little time or a season, a short time, 500 years. And then I saw thrones, they were set upon them, judgments given them, and the souls have been executed through the acts, witness of Jesus, and through the word of God, who that worship the wild beasts. You can read on your own, right? But said they would rule over. So you find out who's this talking about right here. See, this word Christ, that's anyway. See, Christ, right? It just means Messiah, but they don't translate it. So Prophet Muhammad was their Messiah, but his spirit lived over there 1,000 years. He didn't live 1,000 years. But they said, well, see, that couldn't be them, because it could be a man had to live 1,000 years. That had to be Jesus. See? They mentioned executed through the witness of Jesus and through the word of God. See, you don't get confused here, but if you do, that's up to you. I'm not going to, right? Anyway, this is, it's a resurrection. That means it was something that was resurrected. Something that died was resurrected. Who's that? That's Abraham's Islamic empire. It was resurrected by Prophet Muhammad. All right? So let's move on. And whenever 1,000 years will end, we'll loose Satan and the prison out of him. That's when they come out. He will go out and make earth nation, the four corners of the earth, the whole earth. They didn't know about all the earth at that time, before in the Dark Ages. So when they find out after they came out of the pit, they realized the whole earth, whole world, right? And Gog and Magog to lead to gather them into war. They would be nothing but cause all kinds of war, right? And say, make the earth of nations, the seed of nations. See, we'll go out, right? And we'll go out to make some say deceive, right? To earth the nations in the four corners of the earth, to Gog and Magog. That's what they do. That's what they've been doing, deceiving the world and everything else. Because the world was in darkness. The world had to be in darkness to do it. The world had to be in darkness to do it. I'm talking energy deprivation, which you understand. Because otherwise, if you could recognize them, if it wasn't in dark, they wouldn't be able to do what they did. So now that season was out, it was darkness. And so now they was able to do what they did. In 500 years. Had us in darkness. And then stepped down fire out of heaven, ate them down. That's the hellfire mist and everything around the holy city. Right? And if you read the whole thing, you tell me, then that's when they'd be taken down and thrown into the lake of fire. The wild beast and the false prophet. So forth and so on. Read at your leisure, brothers and sisters. That's chapter 20. And then you go over here, right, in Daniel. It's over this two-horned ram. That's Gog and Magog. There was two world empires, and Daniel tell you. That had to be Gog and Magog. And nobody could stand before them. Said no one could stand before me. It was so powerful. Who else can say that? China? India? No one say about God, America and Britain. No one could stand before them until the end came, and then the goat would come and tear their ass up. But so no one could stand before them. And they say they're superpowers. They tell you right there. But they can't. How come you're not the ram then? You say your superpowers, Britain and America were great superpowers, and America was a greater superpower. But that's what the ram said in Daniel. But they can't admit that. That's clear. Oh, there's got to be another one. That's Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was not a world empire. So there have been two world empires, Britain and America. Okay. Simple truth, so they can't admit it, because what happened? They'll be helping the light, and light destroys them, right? Satan, the God of this world. Hold on, boss, since I got to check something real quick here. See, there's certain truths, brothers and sisters. I mean, all this, everything. See, you know, it's confusion, and they're making up stuff. And you listen to see preachers and all that kind of stuff. See, most of them are agents anyway. And they say, they make all this stuff, makes no sense. When the truth is obvious, they can't say it. Because remember, they're there to stop the light. Darkness hates the light. But darkness cannot withstand the light. Dark cannot withstand. It just can't step against light. Okay? So look at this. Satan, the God of this world. Let's look at this. See here? That's Satan. There's nowhere in the world you can come and tell me otherwise. Because they tell you that's Jesus, but the Bible clearly tells you you don't look anything like that. Nothing. So that shows a lie, open lie right there. It's an open lie right there. That's an open lie. If they tell you, and they got things, but anyway, the point, if you look at Revelation 1, they claim that's Jesus there, right? But it says hair like wool and skin like brass. Well, okay, well, you give him a suntan, maybe get brass, but we got to give him a jerry curl? Like the Jehovah's Witnesses do? Give him a jerry curl? they tickle me, boy. Right? So right there, that's a simple truth. That means so who is that? Who is that then? He's Satan masquerading as an angel of light. Because the people, they said, know them by their works. The people that's following this one, what they do? Or they say, well, there's a few. No. What do these people do that's following this? What did Gog and Magog do? They come out and they stole this land, America, committed genocide, stumped the children, the babies, the so-called natives. They wait to the what do you call them? What do you call I forgot what they call the male the Braves, rather. I think they call them the Braves, something like that. They wait till they go out hunting, and then they come in and kill all the women and children and stomp the children's heads under the foot of who? This is what they were doing. They talking about false Israel over there? America is 10 times worse. They just found, hey, Daddy, what you come us for? I mean, because if you see American history, what they're trying to hide now, why are they trying to hide it if it's so great? Why are they trying to hide American history? America's so great. It's so great, you just want to tell everybody about it. Why are they trying to hide? First, we're gonna stop telling that stuff. Teaching that stuff is divisive. Oh, telling the truth about you is divisive? That means something wrong with you, ain't it? Stop telling people that shit in that cake. They're gonna stop buying it. And that same thing? Don't tell me that somebody spitting that cake. They stop buying it, man. I'm telling man, this some shit got in the mix. But man, we got this cake mix, man. We got enough cakes mixed to mix 1,000 cakes, right? Then we find somebody that got shit in there, remember? We ain't throwing that away, man. We don't tell nobody. They ain't gonna know. You see what I'm saying? It's obvious. But they say, nah. But look what they do. They want to hide. Why do you want to hide your history if it's so great? Why you can make America great? When was America great? When you was a slave and persecuted and terror. How you maintain slavery for 100 years? Terror. Who's a terrorist nation? You had to terrorize those people for hundreds of years. These are simple truths. So how you going to say, oh, God bless it? What God are you talking about? Well, yeah, you're right. But what God is there? What did the real Christ say? He said, Satan is the God of this world. So that means that's the God you're talking about, because that's the works you're doing. That's the example you're following. Murder, rape. And these people, when they was doing that stuff, they had crosses around their neck. Crosses around their neck. Where it was killing us, raping us, beating us, taking this country, genocide, spreading disease over the world. Y'all spread disease. Europeans spread disease. You ain't heard about plagues or anything in any place else, any country. When they had so-called black plague in Europe, it wasn't in Asia. It wasn't that. Why would you just isolate to Europe? In the last 100 years, they say, Black Plague and all this. So he said, know them by their works. What are the works of these people that say worship this thing here? Because if that's the kind of works that this one done, you say he's a Jesus, then what the hell you got a problem with Satan for? What problem you got with him? Right? Because that's what Satan would do, commit genocide, theft, stealing, murder, rape. Isn't that what Satan would do? That's what you said he's doing. It said they would masquerade it says Satan would masquerade as an angel of light. That means Satan wouldn't look like himself right now. He would look like angel of light. So, remember, to the world. So, what image is to the world right now that's an angel of light? Tell me. That. Nothing else. You see anybody else around? Supposed to be Satan, remember, he's supposed to be exposed to the world, right? He's revealing himself to the world. Because say he's a God of this world. He wouldn't be a God, people didn't worship him. So he's got to be the angel of light you're talking about. Because what you see any other angels around pretending, there's supposed to be that's the angel of light just there. Okay? So it's all right there, brothers and sisters. Right? Let's all move on. Watch this. Ooh, excuse me. We hate goddamn dictators. They ain't no goddamn good. We hate dictators. They no good. We need to kill all dictators. Saddam Hussein's a dictator. Putin is a dictator. She needs see where they are. We gotta hate them goddamn dictators. No damn good. And what's a dictator? They tell you what to do. You can't vote for them. And if you don't do it, they tell you they put your ass in hell. Did I say that? They don't vote for them. They're your ruler for life. You can't vote for them. They control by violence. And they rule your ruler for life. And if you don't do, they say they put your ass in hell. Oof. Ain't that what this person does? You claim you're Jesus? Yeah. He says he's your God forever. And you don't do this, he's gonna put your dumb ass in hell forever. And you ain't no voting. He's it. And you didn't pick him. He installed himself. Simple truth. Simple truth. Dictator. Oh, so why you hate dictators so much then? Why you hate dictators so much? If your God is a dictator. See what I'm saying? See the confusion? Because Saddam Hussein and all that, you should be admiring them because they be angels. They're angels of this guy. Because they dictators according to you. Because he's a dictator. You say dictator's no damn good. So why are you worshiping this dictator? Now tell me he's all this dictator. Oh, he's a good dictator? I thought no dictators were good. You didn't vote for him. So some good dictators are good? So why are you attacking all dictators then? Because what is he going to do? He's going to destroy all these nations. But who's controlling them? What philosophies they pushing? Democracy. He's going to destroy all the goddamn democracies. How does that make sense? How does that add up? See, when your mind, when you're in darkness and your brain is corrupt, that shit makes sense. But you turn the light on, and you turn the light on. Now explain it to me. Explain it to, and let them try to explain to you how that makes sense. I've been through that with some of them. Tell me how that makes sense. How is okay? He's not a dictator. When you already said dictator is somebody that you don't vote for, they take control, and if you don't do what they tell you to, they put your ass in hell. They're on their decision to decide. They decide what it is, not you. That's what you said. That's exactly what they say he's going to do. Exactly. He's going to come, he's going to take control of the world. He's going to destroy everybody that's against him, all these other nations. It's only going to be his way. So that means all these democracies going down. See the confusion? They can't answer that. So anything they answer is like they get rid of the source of light or try to just block the light. Because that's simple. You don't have to, anybody can understand that one. That's a fact. Not no sensationalism. That's just a fact. That's a simple fact. Dictator. That's Satan. I know. That's their Jesus. That's not the Jesus of the Bible. That's their Jesus. Satan, the one, he's masquerading as Jesus. See, if you're masquerading that angel light, that means you, because he said it makes yourself look. So he makes himself like, he calls himself Jesus, but he don't look like him. He don't sound like him. Right? And his whole system ain't like him. Because he's a dictator. And look at him. He don't look like he got lamb's wool hair and brown skin. See what I'm saying? It says Satan, well, we'll get to that in a minute. For such men are false apostles, deceitful workers, disguise themselves as apostles of light, of Christ. No wonder, for even Satan disguised himself as angel light. So, I mean, Satan is, right? At what point does he disguise himself if he's not visible for you to see? Because if he's invisible for you to see somewhere in heaven, then he don't have to disguise himself, do he? If you're in the dark, you only have to disguise yourself when you come into the light. It was told dark, you don't have to put a mask on. At night, you don't have to put a mask on. Yeah, when you step into the light, then you have to disguise yourself. So here it is. So that means he's got to be here. But he's appearing as an angel of light. Therefore, it is not surprising if his servants also disguise themselves, service themselves as servants of righteousness, whose end will be according to their deeds. See, their deeds, what you got to look at. What are their deeds? What are their deeds of Christians? What's their deeds? Oh, we ain't got nothing to do with. We didn't do. Oh, it said it would judge this nation. It said I'm going to judge George Washington. I'm going to judge that nation that did that stuff. So he could talk. The nation. What about Amalek, right? And he's like, what Noah's flood? Why did God drown the babies too? Wasn't they innocent? Did they do anything? It don't work that way. They're part of the seed of the devils. See? So they say, oh, well, okay, if you're innocent and you have nothing to put with all that stuff, how come you know this? According to American law, if somebody steals something, say you their brother or cousin, anything, and you know they stole it and you received it with their stolen goods, then you're just as guilty as they are. That's the American law. So that means you know America was stolen. So how come you don't get back to the native stand and get your ass out, take your ass back to Europe? So you're full of shit. If you know that, and you know what you did to us, you literally robbed us blind. I mean, that's the best case of people say they talk like robbed blind. No, that applies to us 100%. They rob everything and then they blind us because now we don't even know who we are. They robbed us blind. They took everything from us. And simple truth is, you only change stuff that you hate. Something you love, you don't change. The more you love it, the less you change. Something you love, you're not going to change. But the more you hate, the more you're going to change it. If you hate it 100%, you get rid of it, or you change it 100%. Did they change us 100%? 100%. Didn't leave us anything. And they didn't leave us our mind. Try to take our nature away. They did that with the demons because they are skin folk, but they got their nature. That means they hate you 100%. Have they repented of that? Have they changed? No. That means they're still on board with it. If you see you put a foot on a balloon on water, the balloon will stay down as long as you keep your foot on it. So if we're still in a situation where it means you still got that foot on us. Because they took that foot off, we rise up. They still got foot. And if you look what happened to Jill Scott. Remember she said the thing about the Star Spangled Banner? Have you heard her anymore? Have you heard him anymore? What happened to Martin Luther King? Anybody that speak, oh, what happened to Ali? Ali, as soon as he changed his name to Ali, they hate him. They tried to do everything kind of destroy the man. He said he made more money once he made Ali than he ever made, because people would fill the stadiums because they came there to pay just to see him get his ass kicked. Because he tried to get his name back. Can't do that. Your name is Cassius Christ's name we gave you. And it's amazing. Because I know people, I'm not condemning people, I just know, but to me, why would you accept it? Once you know that, why would you accept? I mean, you see people come out there and they proud. My name is Jason Nickelbobum. And they proud of that. That's the master's name. You know the master gave it to you. Why would you want it? They had this woman, like I said, my wife liked that Family Feud, so at night, we sit around and watch a couple of shows while, spend time together. And they had this show another night. This woman, he asked her what her name was. I don't know exactly, but say, my name is Nancy Brown, White, Green, Yellow, Purple, Jackson. He said, wait, what's all those names? Well, it turned out she'd been married about 5-6 times, and she kept the name each one of the person. So she added to her. At least, I don't know if she made it up. That's what she said. So he's saying, well, why would you keep a name of somebody you divorced? Why would you keep their name? Okay, Mr. Harvey, ain't you divorced from the slave master now? Why you keep his name? You see? That's it. Oh boy, why you keep it? Why you keeping it? Why y'all keeping the name? You're gonna get rid of it in a minute, because our people still dead. It's not your fault, because they're blocking the stuff. They're blocking the light, and they feeding your mind. They giving you your mind feeds your brain. Finds this information. It's like software, like Windows. Hardware is a mainframe. I mean, right, motherboard or whatever, right? So they control software with information coming in, and so therefore you acting because bad information, but that's about to be destroyed. Okay. What's going on here? Even if our gospel is veiled to them that perish, in whom the God of this world hath blinded. See, Satan would not be the God of this world if he didn't control the whole world. Otherwise, what kind of God would he be? Let's look on, we get that in a minute. Whose God of this world hath blinded the minds of unbelieving, that the light of gospel, the glory of Christ, who is the image of God, should not dawn upon them. What's the gospel? The name of the gospel, when they talk about the God, they talk about the Revelations. That's what's called, the gospel. In Arabic, gospel is, the word for gospel is angel. See? So they unbelieving that the light, the angel light, they blocking, right, of the glory of Christ, that's the Lamb who brought it to you, who is the image of God, should not be dawned upon them. So they will keep it away from him, keep that light away from him. See? Whom the God of this world had blinded, and the minds of unbelieving, that the light, they're keeping that light. God of this world is blocking that light. For we preach ourselves, but Jesus Christ as Lord, and ourselves. See, talking about the Lamb there, Lamb of God, who broke the seals. Ourselves are your servants for Jesus' sake, seeing it is God that said, light shall shine out of darkness, light shall shine out of darkness, who shine in our hearts to give light to the knowledge of others, right? Light's going to break through the darkness. It resonates. It's about to break through. Behold, see? And I tell you, this false Israel. See? That's saying, behold, I will make them synagogues of Satan, those who say they are Jews. Who say they're Jews? Who is saying they're Jews? It's right in the Bible, the Christian Bible, it's evangelical. Who is saying they're Jews? It said they're synagogues of Satan, and are not. This is what Jesus talking in chapter 1 of the angel. That's clear. Behold, I will make them a synagogue of Satan, who say are Jews and are not. Behold, I'll make them come and wait before your feet. He said they're not. They're lying. It says it right there. That's right there. So how come you don't see that? What's the problem with it? Jesus lying? says right there. Simple truths. And this is Jesus talking to them in the Bible, right? You are your father, the devil, and you want to do the desire of your father. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth, because there's no truth in him. Whoever tells lie, he speaks for his own nature, because he's a liar, the father of lies. Mischief makes shed blood. So he says, Jesus told him. They said they will see Abraham. He said, no, you're not. He said, no, you're not see Abraham. He said, you're lying. He was telling the Jews then, he said, you're lying. You're not see Abraham. Oh, that's anti-Semitism. That's a lie right there. Because the Semites are the Arabs. They're the Semites. So how can they fight? So let me move on. In the midst of the 7 candlesticks, like to the Son of Man, clothed with garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps, and golden girdle. His head were like wool, white wool. Knows he'd be elderly person with woolly hair. When he shows up, he's gonna be an elderly person, white hair, gray hair, white as snow. And his eyes were a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass. And like unto fire, right? Burning in the furnace. Brass is dark. It ain't white. That look like him at all? Wool hair, dark skin. So how in the hell they come with that? Because he's Satan masquerading as an angel of light. Again, the devil Satan, here we go, took him along to a high mountain and showed him all the kings of the world. All of them. Not everything except America. All. You know what ALL means? All. And their glory. He said to him, all these things I will give to you. He said, yeah, because he couldn't give them if he didn't control them. I will give to my Sunni land too. I will give to you if you fall and worship me. Because Jesus, he knew who he was. He said, I ain't going to do it. He said, I got control of all of them. Is that clear enough? He said, I got control of all. America's a good one. Everybody else is bad. We fight. No, he said, I got control of all of them. All these things I will give to you if you fall down. All of them will worship Satan. That's why, especially in Europe, America, right? They don't give God a name. Because they have to, because it's Satan. It says Satan, God's world. See? They worship. I mean, I had a question. I said, say for instance, Belteshazzar, what is that? Right? That and Satan and Beelzebub and Satan and Dracula and Wolfman, all of them. They all got together, right? And they came here instead of Christmas of Columbus. They came and found America instead of Christmas of Columbus, right? So what could they have done that Columbus and all people that followed him, the Europeans that followed him, do? What could they have done they didn't do? You see what I'm saying? If they had came here instead of Christopher Columbus and all the people that followed behind him, what could Christopher Columbus and all the Europeans that followed behind him done that Beelzebub, Satan, the devil, Wolfman, Dracula, and all of Frankenstein could have done? You see what I'm saying? So what's the difference? I mean, they could have done something they didn't do? Know them by their works. They should know them by their works. What's the works? So we know who they are. Elijah Muhammad had it correct. They're the devils. And Satan. Now, the 72 returned joy, saying, Lord, even demons are subject to us in your name. He said, I saw Satan fall from heaven like lightning. That's about to happen. Bomb and desolation. So we see Jerusalem. He said, we see Jerusalem, some armies. Well, who controls Jerusalem? He says, they're destroyed. That's a simple statement there. When you see Jerusalem, some armies, no, it's desolation. The desolation of who? Jerusalem. Who controls Jerusalem? Falls Israel. It said their destruction is nigh, is near. They're going to be destroyed. They control Jerusalem. And it's being surrounded by armies. Abomination, desolation will precede it, which is going on right now. Look what abominable means, the root word of it. It says the uprising was put down with abominable cruelty. Where is that going? That's where the whole world's looking at it. And America supported, but we for civil rights. Huh? And that's all genocide, open genocide. Are those the works of Jesus over there, or are those the works of a demon, a devil, or the works of Satan? What's happening in false Israel right now, is that the works of Jesus? Or that's the works of Satan? If not the works of Satan, what could Satan do that they ain't doing? What could Satan do over there that they ain't doing? Tell me. I shut up. Tell me what Satan could be doing over there that they ain't doing. Simple truth. Let's look at Legion here. Louis Eugene Grounds NOI backwards. Whoa. Son of perdition. Another simple truth. Another simple truth. Another masquerading as an angel of light. Remember it said to his followers? It said son of perdition's work will be after the workers of Satan. And that's what it says? Connection with Satan. Son of perdition. Farrakhan. What's the simple truth here? He's not the seed of Abraham. He's not seed. But Elijah was. So how would they be brothers if he they should understand your key for that one. Excuse me. Because he's Aaron. See? He's masquerading as the angel of light, son of perdition. He's masquerading. See, when you masquerade, it means you pretend you're something you're not. And one of the ways you do it, like a wolf in sheep clothing, you put on clothing that makes you look like something, but in your nature something else. So he put on the mask of Elijah. Oh, Elijah. And he don't believe none of that. He don't represent Elijah's teaching. I've been saying for years, I give $1,000 to anyone that show me he's teaching as Elijah Muhammad's teachings. He's teaching Elijah Muhammad's teaching, faithfully teaching Elijah Muhammad's teaching, and consistent with the lessons of Master Muhammad. And I give $1,000 cash, no questions asked. No one's claimed it. They sent me nasty grams, called me names and everything else, but no one's claimed it. So that's the mass. See? Elijah. Because the point is, the point is, they need to stop what Elijah was doing. You got to be understand the point here. Because they didn't have to worry about the rest of the Negro butts out there, what you might call them Negro butts, right? You don't worry about them because if they wasn't touched by Elijah, they don't worry about them. Because Elijah was the threat. He's prepared to wait for a son of for a messenger of the covenant, right? So he was a threat. He's like the moon. So he was a threat. So that's why he take Elijah out, right? To put that light out that he had. Once he was gone, they thought they had it because that's what Wallace did. Wallace and Farrakhan together shut it down. They shut Nation of Islam down. Shut it down, something called Belialians. And that's where the falling away occurred because then nobody had no leadership. People that had some connection with Elijah had no leadership because they shut it down. So then what happened, the problem was that some people still held on desperately to Elijah's light. They didn't go along with Wallace and Farrakhan. So they said, well, so they still flaking light. So you put light. They want to shut the light down. They want to shut the light down totally. So they resurrected Farrakhan to go and shut it down totally. That's what that was all about. So he come in and said, yeah, I'm with Elijah. But the whole point was to shut it down totally. Put that light all together. And that's what he's been doing. Because he was directed at who? Elijah's followers. So if you're going to deceive them, that means you got to pretend you're one of them. If you're going to deceive sheep, you ain't going to put on you're going to dress up like a dog or a cat or elephant. You're going to dress up like the sheep so you can ease into them. That's why he dressed up. That's the target. He had to get Elijah Muhammad's followers, those who remain, right? So he had to dress up. Yeah, I'm with so to attract them. Them the ones he had to shut out. He had to shut them down and shut that light out totally. You understand? See how clear it is now? He didn't come back with a Belial, all that kind of stuff. No, he had to come back looking, right? Like Elijah Muhammad's followers. Oh, I got Mercy Black. But he ain't teaching none of that stuff because he's got to shut them down. The light be totally out. That's clear enough for you, brothers and sisters? Right? And so his whole thing is to divert your way. Scientology, Sunnism, Christianity, if possible. Anyway, away from Elijah's teachings. The golden calf, that's where it says, what did Aaron do? It's very simple. It tells you, is to be the God come, he raised Elijah, Elijah's absence. Because if you read it carefully, the God did not anoint Farrakhan, did not anoint Aaron. In fact, he was angry at Moses for even asking for him. He said, you don't need him. It literally says he got angry with him. Why you keep asking for this? You don't need him. But if you keep asking, okay, I'll give him to you. So the God did not anoint him. And then it says, in his absence, he turned people to the golden calf, and God sent Moses back and says, he done turned people from your way. He done turned people from your teachings. That's what it said. He said, he turned people away from your teaching and turned away from me. And that's exactly what Farrakhan has done. He didn't teach Elijah Muhammad's teachings. And he wasn't even, for years, it was the originator. He wasn't even teaching Master Muhammad. Master Muhammad praise and all this stuff. You can't worship him because he's flesh. We got more tapes saying all this stuff. Then he actually got more tapes saying he didn't believe Master Muhammad was a god. He didn't believe Elijah was a messenger. Prophet Muhammad's last. We got more tapes saying all this stuff. Tapes. So his job is to go in there and shut down this light totally. That's why he had to say, I'm with Elijah, when he's not. Yeah. I'm dressed up like a sheep because I got to go after the sheep. Oh, wolf. I got to eat them sheep up. But see, the problem is that a wolf can dress up like a sheep and look like it, but he can't sound like it. He's still going to sound. Why did damn sheep sound like a wolf? What does a Farrakhan sound like? He don't sound like a damn devil. We got to love devils. We got to forgive them. We ain't going nowhere. He said that everything Elijah Muhammad taught. Promised and everything. Oh, we ain't going nowhere. He called God a liar. He called Abraham a covenant liar. How you understand what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing about this Sunday. See, I talk about things, but tell me one thing about this promise. Why was he talking about that? They never identified why exactly detail what they were saying. See, that shows they don't believe in. If you read between the lines, they revealed that they don't believe in any of that stuff, because the whole idea was promises. See, that's the promised land. So they promise something they can't deliver. That's what they're talking about, the promise land. Because they wouldn't say what was the promise was. They wouldn't say who the liars were. They wouldn't say who keep your word. Because they was talking over heads. They was trying to talk to people without revealing where it was coming from. But they revealed a lot if you pay attention. Because they say somebody because they can't keep that promise. In other words, God can't keep that promise taking you out of here. Ooh. That promise, that's a lie. They can't keep that promise. You got to stay here and make it happen here. When Elijah clearly said you'd be a fool to want to stay here. He's saying, no, you're a fool to want to go because you're a fool to look it up. He's saying, you're a fool to want to leave here. This our land belongs to us. They claim he represent, says you're a fool to want to stay here. So your ancestors will continue as fools. We got more tapes saying it. So who's the liar? So what the bottom line is, he says, well, that's a promise they can't keep. Because the whole idea, the background is, how they going to get you back to the promise? How you going to get you? You going to swim? How you going to get there? You going to take a 747? How you going to get back there? How whole nation going to get back there? So if you look at that carefully, then that means he don't believe there's no Master from Muhammad. They don't believe in any of that stuff. Because if they did, they say, oh yeah, well, he'll get us back. That's what Elijah Muhammad taught. He'll get us back. But if you don't believe that stuff, how you gonna get back there? That's what he's saying. You got to pay attention. That shows right there. That statement right there shows they don't believe any of that. None of it. They don't believe Master from Muhammad. They don't believe he got a mother plane. Because the mother plane would be the way he would get back. But they say, hey, how you gonna get back? See, the question. That means not even mother plane ain't even a consideration. That thing don't exist. Brothers and sisters. See, and the God, Farad, I am that I am. He come. He raised up Elijah. Elijah go 40-some years. They were taken out because it says when the son of perdition came, they'd take him out because they'd take Elijah out because they was plotting against him. Now, how you know who's the plotters? The one to get control once the plot is hatched. Who is in control? Wiles and Farrakhan. And Wiles should never been in control. He was officially banned from the nation. How did he get control of the story together? And then Aaron took over. And what he's done? I don't care what they say. Read what the Bible says. Read the Quran says. The Quran says when Moses came back, he wanted to kill Aaron. He read about the Bible, was going to kill him. So he wasn't happy with him. And the Bible says clearly, right, that God turned against him and Moses because he said he was teaching. He wasn't teaching. Elijah was time to teach us. He wasn't teaching it. He was teaching it. He was having worship the golden calf and everything else. He's trying to turn hearts back to Egypt. That's what the Bible says. Oh, the Bible's correct. Then why you believe anything? If it's corrupt, you shouldn't eat it. Oh man, a bird dropped a shell in that cake, right? I'm gonna cut a little slice on this side. Well, if it's corrupt, why you eat any of it? You pick the size you want. Oh, I'm picking stuff that had the bird shit on it. But you determine which part got the bird shit on it. And the Quran says you had to believe in what was before to you and before you. So God would tell you to believe in something that's corrupt. Or you got bad translation out there, but the book is not corrupt. Because God would not tell you to believe in something that's corrupt and then judge you for not believing in it. How does that make any goddamn sense? Yeah. So that's what it said. He was sitting in Elijah's seat. He would make war with the saints. Aren't the nation of Islam claiming they're saints? Aren't they the saints going to inherit the kingdom that they claim? So that means he would make war. So if Farrakhan not doing it, that means you got 42 years in the future, somebody's going to take you down. They say the time is over. See, none they say makes any sense. He's the son of perdition. And what's the biology of it? The biology of it says his father's he admits, we got more tapes, and his father's the devil. He says his father's parents are white Portuguese, Caucasian Jews, which would make his father a white Portuguese Caucasian Jew, which would make him a dark-skinned, right? Because his father raped his mama. That's what he used to say. Now he changed it. Either way, he says fornication. That's the whole story together. That sounds like the birth of a demon to me. That's what demon is: half man, half devil. That's where the word comes from. That's what he is. He's a product of rape. He's a skin folk, not kinfolk. Bottom line, no matter how you cut it. He said, well, his father's Jamaican. That's a nationality, not ethnicity. Right? You born here, that make you white because you're American. You call you American. That's your nationality. That's your ethnicity. Okay? And all you got to do is Google it and it shows you a picture of his father. Percival Clark. They don't want to do that. And he admits that his father was, like I said, white. And that's why his mother tried to abort him, because our women got a history of being raped by devils and either aborting the child if they can or strangle it when it's born. Stillborn. That's what tried to abort him 3 times. Because she know he's raped by a devil. Tried to abort him 3 times. The bottom line is he's not Abraham's seed. And you're out of what your father is. How do you get around that? See the big lie? Well, it doesn't matter who your parents are, because God made you the womb. Then what do you need egg and sperm for then? And then Joshua come. I think I still spelled that wrong. I keep forgetting to fix that. I think I spelled wrong. Joshua. That'll be measure of the covenant. You have, it tells you, you got Exodus and Malachi backs it up. In Exodus, right? God come, raise up Elijah. Elijah goes away. Aaron takes over. He corrupts the whole nation. He said he would turn the nation to slaves, like spread in Exodus. He said he would turn to a laughingstock before his enemies. He said it was out of hand. He said it messed the whole thing. I had worship the golden calf. It says it right there. So, that's a lie. And then Joshua would take over, and he'd be the one taking the promised land. Joshua and Jesus, same name. It's just Joshua. How you say Joshua in Greek? Jesus. How you say Jesus in Aramaic? Joshua. It says he would be the one to take you home. He's the one who took you home. And then you go into Malachi. You got the 4 people again. You got the God. He raised his messenger. prepare the way for the message of the covenant. And then you got another person here that's robbing the nation. You know who? Did Master Muhammad rob this nation? Elijah robbed it? No, Farrakhan. And he would be cursed with a curse. Disembowelment. He got all his stuff cut out. And then they tell you, well, the woman is our heaven, right? Well, then he going in hell. Because he gonna never have a woman again. Ain't gonna be no transplants. This stuff is totally clear. But if it bugs you and that means you would. You fuel for the fire. And we're gonna burn your ass up. Because that fuel just gives you more, empower you. So we're gonna get empowered by burning your ass up. We're gonna be happy burning your ass up. We're gonna want fire. So if you would, and this bothers you, we're gonna burn your ass up. We burn you up right now. That's why you, oh man, you feel a third degree burns on your ass right now? Scorched. You want to give them a run out of here? Oh, let me go jump in the tub, man. Damn, my ass on fire. Yeah. And the fire's getting hotter. Your dumbass, we ain't worried about you. We come to get our people. And they're going to be purified with fire. They'll be turned to fire. Gods. If you're a God, that means no one control you anymore. No one tells you what to do. Angels were told Smith, God's not told Smith there's a supreme being, but he's just there to give you greater light, to increase your light. That's what fire increases fire. He said increase your fire, not tell you what to do. That's what it means to say you be gods, and then you control your life, whatever happens to you right. In fact, you control right now. You just don't know it, because if you let the devil control, that's you letting him do it. So you're still in control. If you let the devil control your life, devil control your quality, that means it's still your fault because you let him have control of it. And still, that's still. But we excusing that because you got a bad mind, but you still letting him do it. Said the man was beating himself in Mark because he didn't have his mind, but his nature knew something was wrong. That's why he ran to Jesus and said, something wrong here. He didn't come because his mind, he didn't have a mind. His nature got to fighting with his mind. There was a conflict between his nature and his mind. And that's what's happening right now. So people, but see, like I said, you wake up, but you're blind, so you don't know what to do. You're going around in circles, you're still alive, but you're blind. Now people waking up, right? But it's still blind. Now they get their mind back. You get their mind back, they can see. Got out of bed, now they can see. Before they got out of bed, they walked around, man, they can't see anything, feeling their way around. But they're moving now. Before they were just laying in the bed, dead. Now they're moving around. Now they're going to get their light. Lion dog Farrakhan, Elijah's worst hypocrite. He says, Elijah said on the world stage, he'll be his worst hypocrite. Was Elijah a liar? Farrakhan, out of his own mouth, says it. So you're going to believe him? You say you don't ever lie. You say Farrakhan never lies, so you should believe him because he tells you that's what Elijah said. So you say he never lied, so that means that he's worse. Elijah's worst hypocrite then. This stuff is very simple, brothers and sisters. Let me go to this, I'm going to close out. This is right here. See, this is all the stuff they come at you with. Vectors. This is your mind. The mind they gave it, their explanation of everything. I get some more things here, but I just put these down. Right? And so this is where you're acting, this is where you're acting. You're acting like this here because this is the information you're getting. That's why people acting like that. Ain't their fault because this is what they, but then what happens? Then you come back to who you were. They don't want that. See, like I said, you hold that balloon down with your foot on the water. Once your foot moves, the balloon comes right back up. See? And Master Muhammad's getting ready to move your foot. He said, we're the foot of the nations. That means all the nations are top of us. All the nations are holding us down. All the nations got their foot on our head. But it said the top will be on the, what's on the bottom will be on top. Well, who's on the bottom? That means we're the one going to be on top. That means we're the true Abraham. But so we got fire way to the top. Because they ain't giving up that. Promised land, that's what it says. It says the promised land is right here, Arabia, between River of Egypt, I believe it is, and Euphrates. Farrakhan don't talk this part. That's the measure of the covenant. That's the promised land. Okay? It's controlled by our brother who stole it from us, Ishmael, called the Arabs. Also, House of Saud, they're not even Arabs. It's another story altogether. The dragon. We're going home. That's the mission of the covenant. Okay, bros, I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. I think I covered Gog and Magog, Antichrist. I could much more detail. Maybe I'll go into more. I just give you the basic. Those are basic truths. They can't argue with any of that. So therefore, they got more lies and everything else, because it's harder and harder to block the light. Another thing about light, see, light has heat. So the more light comes on, you're not just blocking the light, but now you're starting to feel the heat. So this is harder now. Damn, man, I was blocking the light, but now it's, yeah, damn. You got this platform there holding, block the light. But say for instance the sun, trying to block the sunrise, you got this little plate. So you got some aluminum foil blocking the light. You hold it right there, right? So it's dark behind because you block it, right? But that light's heating that aluminum foil up. It's hot. I just love L.E.G.I.O.N, brothers and sisters. Ass kicking time says, "Day of wrath has come." I can feel it. I can feel it's almost here. In fact, in many ways, here already. Because soon I've been kicking your ass for the last 30-some years. That's why he's been kicking your ass. That's why you see the world's in confusion. They're all confusion, all delirious. And they can't stop it. Trump can run all over the world he wants to. He cannot stop what's happening. You put a stop power on the stove, you put fire under it, it's going to boil so late. Nothing you can do is turn the fire off. He cannot turn the fire off because that's driven by the action of the universe. Universe contracting. Damn. I mean, universe expanding. No, that's that right. No, contracting. Excuse me. It comes as momentous in heaven and earth, but coming above a sudden. I mean, suddenly you're going to experience it. It's here. Suddenly you're going to experience what's everything, but shock it out. Everything fast. Now, you're starting to feel a little bit of it, but you won't feel a full blast. Suddenly, momentous in heaven and earth. We see that energy wave popping every 50 years, converts the form you can use, and all of a sudden, suddenly, all hell breaks loose. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.